what I have put down for saxophone. The idea is that you would first play the melody in a very slow tempo.
Right.
Then the alto will take 8 bars.
Right.
And you will take the bridge and the last 8. See?
Yeah.
And then you end it, the slow chord, just to have an idea how we should...
Oh, if I remember the melody. I don't remember. I remember it.
Right. But let's try it.
No, don't worry.
Okay.
Right.
There.
Right.
So there is a pickup for the band before you start in the melody. There's 21, well, I didn't write it correctly, but you... Okay.
Sorry.
Yours? First 8, huh? Just good. Yeah. There you go. 17.
Maar hoe dan ook, mij wint persoonlijk altijd op hoor. Als trompetist, als ik hem zo hoor, dat ik denk, nou komt hij er nooit van langs als leven. Ik moet 2 jaar weer overheen komen voordat ik weer durf te spelen.
I make it 4. I make it 4. Okay. Yeah? Yeah. That you have been involved not in just using drugs because it's necessary, but just in the experiments. You were used as one of the experimental persons.
Yeah, right. Yeah, at Harvard University. And the study was basically had to do with man expanding man's own consciousness.
Man expanding?
Expanding man's consciousness, just as all medical people know that we use approximately 1/3 of our brain capacity. Correct?
Yeah.
All right. And,
a lot of individuals even less.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So in order to now, drugs in their true sense are often delved into and experimented with for the purposes of man being able to free the parts of his brain that for some reason even brilliant men like you and I.
Thank you very much. Thank you. 2 beer. 2 beer.
And so part of that thing is to learn how to take your experience into your life, into which means your family game, if we may use the word game, your medical game, your musical game, your interpersonal game, whatever your game is, to take the experience, not just to take the drug. Now, musicians and artists have very often gotten caught up in the drug game in a sense of getting high, which is surely one of man's greatest pleasures.
Yeah.
You and I have a beer together instead of coffee because unconsciously we will get a little high together. The same high goes with perhaps if we watch anything, to take it down to the lower levels, if I may use that expression, watching television together, or in other words, everybody in every society has his own high. Now, the problem is that the studio musician has a terrible trap. The
Trap, you mean?
Yeah. His mind gets trapped into that well-written manuscript, and if it isn't well-written at a studio gig, he'll say, "What the shit is this? What is this all about, man? I can't read that crap."